All right, you'd sent, I don't know if this was meant for the show or just meant for me, but you sent this thing over Billy Sheehan's interview for Scientology.
You know what? This was just weird. This was, I think Tobe sent that to me. And we don't have to do all 4 parts because we'll go on forever.
Right.
But there was some guy that was out like shooting a documentary on the whack jobness of Scientologists.
Okay.
Or like a bunch of Scientologists out front of some building protesting or representing Scientology or something. And one of them was Billy Sheehan.
So he was out there with the people protesting with the Scientologists or against Scientology?
He's apparently a Scientologist.
Okay.
But this guy didn't, it seems like the guy that's asking questions didn't realize that Billy was like a famous guy.
Okay, so he just thought he was some dude.
Some dude. And I don't know enough about Scientology. I don't know if you do or not, but I really don't know shit about it. And listening to these questions, the guy clearly knows some questions, and then Billy starts off by saying, I'll tell you anything you want to know about Scientology. And then the guy starts asking questions like, I'm not going to answer that. Billy like backs off like it's some big secret about Scientology.
Well, there is some secrecy to Scientology.
Why? If it's a religion, isn't it a religion? Don't you share the aspects of your religion?
Well, the thing is if you reach a certain pinnacle in Scientology, there's certain things that you're not allowed to reveal.
Oh, well, this guy seems to know them.
Well, what's her name? Leah Remini?
Leah Remini, yeah.
Yeah. Well, she was into Scientology and she got out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been revealing a lot of the inner workings of it.
Okay.
And the Scientologists are really pissed off at her.
Oh.
Because she's, blowing their cover, as it were.
Yeah, they should be more pissed off at the writers of that show that sort of thought that it was somehow even remotely believable that Kevin James would be banging her every night.
Right.
Fuck out of here.
But yeah, she was a Scientologist, and she's sort of like, she revealed what she knew. And, of course, Tom Cruise, he's really deep into it. And what's the guy from Pulp Fiction, Vinnie Barbarino?
John Travolta.
John Travolta, he's really into it.
I just don't understand how you can have a religion. How do you get somebody to join a religion when they don't tell you what the fuck it means?
Well, on the surface, they kind of draw you in, and then they, it's sort of like a brainwashing thing,
Cult.
Well, definitely that.
Yeah.
Of course. When I was living in California back in the 80s, I met a woman, and I won't get into the whole, how I met her. It was she was a vendor at a mall, and I worked with her for seasonal help for Christmas.
Okay.
Well, she lived in Las Vegas, and her main job was she was a cigarette and candy girl. One of those girls that go through the casino and sell cigars and candy and shit.
Sure.
Well, she did that. Well, during Christmas of 80, I think it was 88, she came down to California and she set up, it was sort of like a, what do you want to call, franchise type thing.
Okay.
And she was selling these foam glider planes, these things that you assemble and you kind of throw them and they do barrel rolls and shit like that.
And they come back to you.
Exactly. So she was selling these in the mall.
Right.
And I got to know her. I met her in the mall, and she asked me if I wanted to work with her, and I took her up on her offer, and a couple days a week I sold these planes in the mall with her, right?
Right.
Well, she was a Scientologist. She was into the whole Scientology thing.
Okay.
And, I kind of got to know her a little bit and asked some questions and stuff, but even she was very secretive about it. So it is a cult. You definitely get drawn in, and they don't want you, the outsiders knowing unless you become one of them.
They take a bunch of your money too?
Oh yeah. I mean, of course they want some of your money. And if you go down to Hollywood Boulevard in West Hollywood, the Church of Scientology is right down there.
Okay.
And if you're walking along the street, their minions are out there on the street trying to get you to come in and do an evaluation test and all this other kind of weird shit.
So it's realistic to think that a good portion of their wealth, the Scientology's wealth, came from Pulp Fiction, David Lee Roth tours, and Mr. Big.
Right. They do have some, higher profile celebrities. And those celebrities do give a lot of their money to the Scientology church.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. It's pretty bizarre.
I always thought that it was the people that fucking were hitting bottom that find religion.
Well, it's I don't know if it's so much more of religion as being more of a cult. I don't know if there's a distinction there or not.
No.
But it's kind of weird. It's just a weird thing.
How does somebody that has the world at their fingertips fall into a cult? Somebody else fucking taking all their shit and telling them what to do and stuff. How does John Travolta, who's probably earned $250 million in his life, how does that guy get sucked and say, oh yeah, I'll give all my money and I'll pray to this guy that wrote a book? How does that happen? I don't get how that could ever happen.
Well, I guess they're looking for something. I don't know.
Oh.
They're looking for some kind of answers or something.
Spend your money and find it.
I guess.
Don't find it at the Church of Scientology.
Yeah. But it apparently satisfies some kind of a need.
Apparently so. Jeez. Okay.
So anyway, what about this interview or this thing with Billy Sheehan?
Well, I listened to it, and it's just, again, because I don't know anything about Scientology, you might listen to a couple minutes and just dump. But the guy asks him if it's, and Billy says, well, I'll tell you anything you want to know. Well, then the guy starts asking question after question. And Billy won't answer any of it.
Yeah, of course. Because he's probably asking him some pretty, pointed questions about the inner workings of the organization.
Well, he's talking about shit that didn't make any sense to me. He's like, well, what happens when you pass OT9 or whatever that means?
Yeah, well, there's different levels.
Yeah, well, again, listen to a little of it if it's not going anywhere. It didn't make any sense to me. It just was tragic to me that a guy like Billy Sheehan, who I've met and seems sane, would be sucked into this stuff.
Right. Well, yeah, there's different levels that you reach.
Yeah.
And, the higher the levels you get into, you definitely don't reveal the inner workings of the organization.
Yeah, God forbid.
And so this guy probably was asking him about some of the higher echelon of that, that cult.
Yeah.
And he probably was like, well, I can't talk about that.
And that's what he does. He's like,
I can see that happening.
Yeah.
All right. Let's check this out. We'll see what this guy has to say.
All right.
This is Mark Bunker from Xenu TV. On February 10th, Anonymous held its first global picket of Scientology, and it was a huge success, with thousands of people around the world protesting Scientology fraud and abuse. I attended their protest in L.A., and the first person I met was celebrity Scientologist Billy Sheehan, legendary bass guitarist. And he was very nice to sit down and actually give us an interview. And I'd like to share that with you now, and I want to thank Billy for doing that. I think it's good when we can actually have a civil communication, and in Scientology's terms, a comm cycle. So thank you, Billy, and let's take a look.
I'm a Scientologist since 1971. I do not hate. I'm willing and happy to discuss anything about my religion.
Awesome. True.
Oh, what's your name?
My name is Billy.
Billy?
Yes, sir.
Tell me, your sign says you've been in since 1971?
Yes, sir.
Where are you on the bridge?
OT3.
Terrific. So what happens in OT3? Are you dealing with body thetans at that point?
I'm not at liberty to discuss it, but it's quite an extensive.
So yeah, he's at a certain level within the organization.
He's on the bridge.
Yeah, and so he can't tell you about it or discuss it because there's certain, secret. It's like being part of a secret society.
This is the dumbest shit.
It is. I agree. I completely agree. But it sucks some people in to where they feel like they're elevated, I guess, and they're
going to have our secret handshake.
Yeah, well, they're enlightened. Yeah, they're enlightened people, and we can't just share this with just the regular folks.
Why? Don't you want the regular folks to join?
Well, yeah, but you have to start at the bottom. You can't know the secrets from the top. You have to earn your way up. You can't just be given that.
Oh, I get it. So you're just a peon in this.
Yeah, you're a peon until you've earned your stripes, so to speak.
It's not like that lousy fake Christianity where you can just say a prayer and you're back in.
Right.
You're in good. You could be a fuck up forever, and as long as you say one prayer, you're good.
Exactly.
I see. This is a religion of earning.
Yeah, you have to work your way up to the top of the rung. I think Tom Cruise and why do I keep forgetting his name?
Billy Sheehan?
No.
John Travolta?
John Travolta. What I think they're like near the top of the echelon.
Isn't it convenient too that the guys that are nearest the top are also the guys that have made the most money that they can?
Isn't that interesting?
That's something.
Yeah, this guy's been in it since 71.
Yeah.
Billy's been at it since 71.
He's still mid-level. He's only OT3 or whatever.
He hasn't made $100 million.
He's not even across the bridge.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck. Come on, Billy.
Right. But you have found out about Xenu then and the incident number 2, I believe it is, where Xenu blew us up in a volcano.
He can't talk about that.
I'm not at liberty to discuss that, but I can discuss anything.
So you're saying...
He comes off kind of fruity.
Billy, I know. Now, what is this? They have some guy named Zentu or something?
Yeah, it's just, blows up in the volcano and this and that. And it's just
what the hell?
It's almost like being part of World of Warcraft or something. It's a real life game.
Then Iron Man comes out and puts out the fire.
Right. And then Mario swings in and kills Kong, and then Kong climbs up to the next level with L-ronhubbard under his arm, and he protects him.
Right. It's just so silly.
Exactly.
Holy cow.
It says you're happy to discuss anything about your religion.
Yes, sir.
And immediately you won't discuss anything about your religion.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's certain things that I made an agreement to keep confidential, but if you like, I've got nothing to hide.
Except OT3.
No.
Well, let me.
Boy, talk about a contradiction in terms.
Yeah, I got
nothing to hide except for that. Well, no, but I can't tell you about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but you're hiding. No, I'm not hiding it, because if you were on the same level as me, we could discuss it openly, but you're not, so I can't tell you.
Yeah. But you said you could talk about anything in your religion.
Well, I can talk about it, but only to certain people. People who are in the know.
I guess. We're not far
enough
along.
You just say this. I'm in the outside world.
Yes,
I'm not a Scientologist.
Okay.
I'm able to talk about OT3.
Okay.
I'm free to discuss it.
God bless you.
And
see, that's interesting. He would say, "God bless you."
Well,
because Scientology is not a religion or a cult based on God.
Maybe not on your God.
Oh, okay.
Might be l-ronhubbard.
Well, he should have said L-Ron bless you then.
And it just amazes me that you join a group where they tell you to think for yourself.
Yes, sir.
And yet you're not allowed to think for yourself.
I do think for myself.
But they tell you not to discuss OT3, and you agree not to.
I did agree not to discuss it, yes, sir.
Okay.
But that's just because there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
And that is, it can be confusing and upsetting to someone to get involved in something that is farther along than they happen to be at present. I'm like teaching a...
See, I'm more enlightened than you. So I can't tell you about something because you might become upset or disturbed because they're not quite as advanced as I am.
So you're not smart enough, or you're not capable of handling this.
You can't handle the truth.
This life-altering news. You have to take so many steps across the bridge before you can handle that news.
Exactly. And you know what the news is?
What?
Whites, stop having sex with filthy black people. That's the news.
Wouldn't that be like if you get to like OT 12 or whatever, that's really the news?
Yeah, that's actually the sign.
Yeah, you get there and you get handed that sign.
It's, whites, stop having sex with dirty colored, or what was it, brown people or
dirty dark people?
Dirty dark people.
There's something you get to OT 53 or whatever the highest level is, and your mission to prove your worthiness is to go tape this on a mailbox.
Right.
Get people to eat out of their mailbox. Once they eat out of the mailbox, then you're a full-fledged Scientologist.
Exactly.
But not before.
Nope. It's upsetting to me to reveal this to you, but stop having sex with dirty, dark people.
You're allowed to have this note on one piece of tape. And if people are not eating biscuits and gravy out of their mailbox by tomorrow, you're back to OT1.
Mm-hmm.
And go.
Nuclear physics to a very young person can seem very, very confusing. Where, I learned how Wright brothers got up in the air and learned some basics in chemistry before I did that. That's basically all there is to it. And I understand your concern and I understand your disagreement, and I respect you for it.
Very good. And I appreciate that understanding. And I'm not trying...
Billy comes off as kind of fruity. He's got his fingers like up on his chin, and he's kind of like acting kind of like almost prissy.
He's representing his religion.
Yeah, I know, but he's coming off really prissy.
He's coming off as warming.
I look at as prissy.
Warming.
Okay.
Haley, please.
I mean, I like Billy. He's a very talented guy and everything, but holy cow, this is not coming off very well.
You know why he's so talented, don't you?
Why is that?
Because Ben 2 from OT3 fucking gave him that magic power with the bass.
All right, maybe it was the call of Tekulu.
Could be.
Maybe that's what Metallica was singing about.
Maybe they're Scientologists.
They could be.
Maybe that's why Jason had to go. He believed in that dirty Christian faith.
Probably
it.
Trying to attack you
I don't
for those
attacked.
Beliefs either.
I don't feel attacked.
I'm just concerned because I have read L-Ron-Hubbard's handwritten OT3 material, and I believe I do understand it.
Okay.
And it doesn't seem that it really should necessarily be hidden. But
Well, it's not. It's all over the internet. Versions of it. I don't know how accurate they are. I've looked at most of them. I've looked at most every website there is.
But what you've seen on the
including
internet,
yours.
then you say is pretty accurate.
I actually, no. I have to say.
Now, hang on. The handwritten material you cannot say is not accurate. I did OT3.
Okay.
That is OT3. The handwritten material from l-ronhubbard, that's it.
Okay.
You can't say it isn't.
He's like, okay.
All right.
Did you look that up at all?
I'm looking it up right now.
OT3?
Yeah. The head of the Galactic Federation, 76 planets around larger stars visible from here, found 95 million years ago, very space opera, solved overpopulation, 250 billion or so per planet, 178 billion on average, by mass implanting. He caused people to be brought to Tegeac, which is Earth, and put an H-bomb on the principal volcanoes. That's incident 2. And then the Pacific area ones were taken in boxes to Hawaii, and the Atlantic area ones to Las Palmas, and they're packaged. His name was Xenu. He used renegades, this is poorly written. And this is the one that he's talking about by l-ronhubbard. Various misleading data by means of circuits, etc., was placed in the unplants Then through his, when through with his crime-loyal officers to the people captured him after 6 years of battle and put him in an electronic mountain trap where he still is. They are gone. The place, Confederation, has since been a desert. The length and brutality of it all was such that this Confederation never recovered. The implant is calculated to kill, by pneumonia, etc., anyone who attempts to solve it. This liability has been dispensed with by my tech development. One can freewheel through the implant and die unless it is approached as precisely outlined. The freewheel, auto-running on and on, lasts too long, denies sleep, and one dies. So be careful to do only incidents 1 and 2 as given, and not to plow around and fail to complete one phaeton at a time.
Wow.
Got all that?
I think I saw a episode of that on Star Trek.
You think so?
I think the Klingons were involved with that at one point.
And now they're called thetans. Before they were called tribbles.
Trouble with tribbles?
Right.
Yeah. Maybe we should consult John on this. He's a space guy.
Yeah, he might know.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't deal with that silly Star Trek, though.
All right. Let's get back to Billy.
All right.
Unless you're lying. Flat out.
I'm not going to lie to you.
It's one or the other, man.
I'm not going to lie no matter what.
Okay, so handwritten material is handwritten material. That's
True,
Hubbard.
but I don't...
No. That's Hubbard.
Okay.
That's what he said. That's OT3. That's what you read when you get on the level.
Okay, I would like to respectfully disagree, but I see your point.
But which part are you disagreeing with?
I don't believe it's completely accurate.
Which part?
The written stuff was edited.
How?
I've seen it, and I know how because I've seen the original. It's been edited.
I've seen the original, and that's exactly what it is.
We
and I was on
disagree.
OT7.
Okay.
So it is.
Right,
Yeah, don't fuck with me, OT3.
yeah, I was on OT7, so fuck off.
Yeah, I was way further down the bridge.
Yeah. It was 4 levels above you, pal.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently. I saw the real thing.
Yeah.
Well, I saw the real thing. Yeah, but I saw the real thing.
Yeah, I was 4 levels ahead of you, pal.
Yeah, pal.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
If you got any further on your level, you'll see that I etched my initials in it as I passed by.
Right. Just me and L-Ron.
Right.
But anyway, we'll move on.
Disagree on this,
all right, we'll agree to disagree.
Okay. I have respect for you.
Gotcha.
Wow. Just
Jesus,
the
Billy,
whole
easy.
respect that I respect you. I respect you. I respect your opinion. You're wrong, but I respect your opinion.
Thanks, Bill.
Wow, this is tough, almost a tough watch. I hate to see a guy that that you respect as a musician and veteran journeyman in the industry to be kind of like almost castrated.
Now it's making me question all those Mr. Big songs.
Yeah.
What was he really talking about with a green-tinted 60s mind? Maybe
Sure.
that's not about drugs like I thought it was. Do you ever think maybe that's about something on, I don't know, level 14 or something?
Well, he hasn't got that far, so how would he know what's up there?
Maybe somebody wrote the words for him to subliminally pass it on.
Who knows? All right.
Could be. It could be about the body thetan.
True.
We don't know.
So, let me see.
L-Ron Hubbard with the visceral in his bloodstream.
Say again?
L-Ron Hubbard had visceral in his bloodstream when he died.
I wasn't there. I know.
well, there's
His
facts on that.
doctor. His doctor.
He died of cancer already.
He was my doctor before he died.
Me too.
He used to be right
He's a
down
good
the
guy.
street. Yeah, he's a good
He
guy.
had a place, yeah.
Yeah.
But what about the
Big
visceral?
fan.
though? That's psychiatric
Sorry,
medication.
anonymous
I don't
over
believe
here.
it's true.
Of course not. But
Magoo.
Scientology says that you cannot take any psychiatric medication or see a psychiatrist.
Uh-huh.
Well, what about the guy that died and killed that lady, stabbed her 77 times on L-Ron Hubbard's birthday? What was his name?
That was my auditor,
was
Ellie
his name?
Perkins.
Alan
Perkins, Jeremy
That was my
Perkins.
personal friend and auditor. We
Jeremy
got into Scientology
Perkins.
together.
Yeah, I knew her
I know
too.
her son.
Right.
I know their family. There's a horrible tragedy. Ellie was a beautiful, wonderful person who really just wanted to help people. She was my personal friend.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with her. It's just the kid never got any help. That's the problem.
I know.
But I mean, just don't say you know, and it's like,
but I do
it's
know,
a huge deal.
I know her personally. Yes, it was a huge
I know
deal.
her personally too. I'm not talking about Ellie. I'm talking about the son who never got any of the help that he needed, medical help. I have a medical condition. I was in your church. Mm-hmm. They made me get off my medicine. So I speak from very personal experience on this. Okay?
And also,
that's not right.
May I say something?
Yes.
I got back from China, on a trip to China, and I was very, very sick. I don't know what the hell I had. And my auditor showed up at my house, drove me to the emergency room, and made sure that I got medical care. And that's all. That's a fact of life.
Okay.
Now, Ellie was my personal friend. I'm from Buffalo, New York.
But we're not talking about Ellie.
Well, let me get to that, because let me preface it by saying, Ellie, so you know who I'm speaking of. Her son, I knew her son.
Okay.
I saw her son.
Okay.
I hung out with her son.
Do you think he needed medical care?
Something was wrong with the kid.
Yeah, think?
God damn.
What the hell?
Wow. Why is Billy Sheehan standing out there with a little handwritten sign?
I have no idea.
That is just freaking bizarre.
That's what I'm saying. There's 4 episodes of this shit.
Wow.
What is Billy doing?
Well, he's apparently drawn into this thing, and and another thing is, does a protest ever help anything?
Can't think of one that ever worked.
They're out there protesting Scientology.
Yeah.
So what is that going to do at the end of the day?
Well, what I find funny about it is that the Scientologists are out there answering. Why wouldn't you just if somebody was protesting, if somebody was outside your house protesting the CMS, if there's 15 people outside that were chanting, CMS must go or whatever, would you go out there and try and convince them that you need to stay?
No, would you just ignore them? You just ignore them.
Yeah, they'll go away when they start. All a protest is ever about is attention. So if they don't give them the attention, they'll go the fuck away.
Yeah, but what is that going to solve? Are they expecting someone to step in and shut Scientology down?
Or they expected people that are outside talking to them to say, okay, you're right, let me get on this side of the line.
Exactly.
Get over here now. Fuck those guys. It's bizarre.
I just don't get it.
It's really weird.
I can't even think for a minute if there would ever be a situation where there's a quote unquote a protest that I would ever attend.
I've done it once. I've told that story about when the war in Afghanistan first started. And there was a big anti-war rally downtown Cleveland. And I went down there and stood with the cops. And then it turned into a big old brawl. But yeah, me and my friend Angry Pat, we went and stood with the cops. So, and when it broke down, we were all fighting. Yeah, there you go, Kendall Peters. What about Rat Lives Matter?
Yeah, well, did that ever turn into a protest? That's the whole thing.
No, because we didn't spearhead it as we said.
Yeah, we should have done it.
Yeah, we didn't spearhead the move.
We were weak leaders. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. And we weren't strong like these Scientologists.
Right.
Our conviction was weak.
Sure. That's just a bizarre thing, though.
Isn't it?
Just really strange.
It's weird seeing Billy Sheehan, not a minor celebrity in the music world. He's a pretty major guy.
Yeah.
I mean, is he David Lee Roth? No. But he's in the world of anybody that plays an instrument, Billy Sheehan is a fucking legend. And he's out there fucking rambling on about OT3 and crossing bridges and shit. What are you doing, dude?
Yeah, it's bizarre.
It is.
All right.